Radar screens briefly went dark again early this morning at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey, raising new concerns about safety and efficiency at one of the nation's busiest airports. A similar outage less than 2 weeks ago caused air traffic controllers to lose radio contact with pilots flying into the airport for up to 90 seconds. The union representing air traffic controllers says multiple members took trauma leave to recover from the stress related to that, leading to staffing shortages, exacerbating shortages, really, which prompted major delays at Newark and ripple effects at airports across the country. These incidents come as Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy unveils his new plan to overhaul the U.S. air traffic control system. He spoke about the plan on CBS Mornings earlier today.
This system that we use, much of the equipment you have to buy on eBay. No one makes it anymore. That's how old the system is that we fly on today, which is why yesterday I called for a brand new infrastructure plan to rebuild everything across the spectrum for air traffic control.
For more on this, I want to bring in Todd Yeary. He is a former air traffic controller. I want to get to Duffy's plan in a second because, wow, only available on eBay. That is quite startling. But talking about Newark, given that this is just the second incident in less than 2 weeks of radar screens going dark, how concerned are you? How concerned should air travelers be?
Well, thanks for having me. I think here's where we owe the flying public a bit of education and information about how the system actually works. It affected Newark Airport, but it actually happened at the Philadelphia TRACON. That's a terminal radar approach control. That's a big radar room that services airports in its area of responsibility. So that would be Newark, Philly, Wilmington, Delaware, and parts of Pennsylvania, Northeast Maryland. Here's the issue. Because we are maintaining an old system, you can expect that there are going to be periodic temporary interruptions. So I used to work the third shift in Chicago. They would often have to take the primary radar down to upload new software. In bringing the primary radar back into service, there would sometimes be gaps. And so, but those gaps do not overwhelm the redundancy. If you lose radar at, say, Philadelphia TRACON, the centers, that would be Washington Center, New York Center, have the capacity at their controller scopes to change their filter settings to be able to see much of what's happening in that airspace. And so I want us to be very careful that as we are hearing more about these disruptions, that we're not unintentionally creating unnecessary panic throughout the system, because Secretary Duffy's plan is not on the shelf ready to be implemented today. It's got to be developed over time, which means we have to make sure that our procedures are right, that the equipment is maintained well. We can't have a loss of the technical staff, much less the controllers. And so there are a number of moving pieces that have to be maintained. It is a bit oversimplified to say we're going to build something new. We're not scrapping what's already in place. And so we've got to maintain and develop at the same time.
I appreciate all of that information, that background that helps inform us. I have to be really quick with you on this last one, but we heard about the updates and upgrades that Secretary Duffy wants to do. Why is the system so outdated? Why is the infrastructure in so desperate need of updating?
Short answer would be politics. 1981, you have a PATCO strike. Candidate Reagan supported the controllers. President Reagan fired them. After you fire them, you create a disruption in the system that takes well over a decade to recover from. And so you begin to be distracted by what is the primary concern, and keeping pace with technology is not the primary concern at that time. So we're playing catch up across the field.
Todd Yeary, we could spend the entire hour. I have so many questions for you, but unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.